what are your name and pronouns?
My name is Lyla Morningstar. My pronouns are she, her.
And how do you identify?
I am a trans woman.
All right. Can you tell me a bit about your VTuber model or persona?
So I am a fallen angel with a love for stories. And I have a lot written out, but I haven't put it out in the public yet. So I'm just wondering.
It's okay. It's okay. You don't have to give details. It's okay. It's okay. You can give a basic description. It's all right. It's all right. I won't shank you for it. It's okay. If that's all you want to give about it, that's totally fine too.
Yeah, I think that's it for now. I'm mainly my thing is focusing on the different kind of stories that I really love and that I want to share with people.
Yeah. I will say I love that your last name is Morningstar and you're a fallen angel. I'm weird, right? Like the Netflix show.
I had to. I was like, my name starts with L, and it all fits together.
It does. It's like if Lucifer was femme. Yeah. It's so fucking
That's the
perfect.
dream.
I love it. Oh my god. But yeah, I like that. Morningstar is my favorite last name for Lucifer. So it's cool. It's nice. Anyway, how did you ensure that your model represented you?
How did it represent me? I think it was mainly just that I had been kind of working together this idea of, I guess, an OC in my head. And when I finally had the chance to talk to an artist and get it put in there, I was just, it was, I just gave them the few points and they ran with every little detail that I sent them, and it just worked out.
It just worked out. It just happens. It's like magic.
Yeah.
Hey, some artists are like that. I respect it. Okay. So, then what drew you to VTubing, and do you find it rewarding?
I think what drew me to it was I was already watching VTubers at the time. I think the one who really got me into it was Nyanners.
Nyanners! Hey, let's go.
And then I got real deep in the HoloLive rabbit hole over COVID and everything.
Oh no. I'm so sorry.
Everyone, I mean, I've had a great time so far.
Well, that's good. But I'm saying the money pit is
thankfully
insane.
Money's tight for me on a regular basis, so it's there is no temptation to spend anything because I just don't have it.
Fair enough. It's kind of like last year, there was a Valorant skin bundle I really wanted, but money was tight, so I couldn't. But I really wanted to, but if I had the money, I definitely would have, but I definitely didn't have the money, so I didn't. So
it's just you know what? At least I didn't spend $1 bajillion.
That's true. That's it. Yeah, exactly. But now I buy skins all I want.
So yeah, now, because I was already kind of into it and everything, and I had vague understandings of how it all worked, obviously I knew if I started, I wasn't going to be, hit big right away or ever. It was just so I have a disability that makes it so that I'm not able to do regular jobs. If I was able to work for anything, it would have to be something I could do from home. And I figured, one, it was the pandemic, so there's no going out anyway. Two, I can't, go do other jobs. So I'm stuck at home all the time with nothing to do. I may as well, give this a shot, because that's also a way to, connect with people when I'm in a place where, I can't go and see people regularly. But I mean, even now, now I'm just living in a really small village with fuck all to do. There's not even a McDonald's. The closest thing we have to fast food is a Starbucks.
Wait, how do you have no McDonald's, but you have a Starbucks?
So are you familiar with the Hallmark Christmas movies and all that?
Yeah.
So this is where they film all of those. It's the picture perfect, quaint little town.
Wait, so you actually get people coming in and recording shit?
Yeah, I've walked by film sets a number of times.
That's so weird. I came from a small town, but not that small.
Yeah. So because of that, the town is very particular about what businesses they let set up.
Uh-huh. because they want to keep that revenue coming in from the film crews.
Yeah. So there's a lot of really nice, like, you know, mom and pop restaurants and stuff. But in terms of chains, we have one convenience store, the Starbucks, and a Tim Hortons, because this is Canada.
Oh, I got you. I get what you mean.
So that's it.
I get it.
So with literally nothing to do here except, you know, go walk down to Starbucks again today or whatever, I've really felt the need to, you know, keep going with streaming because, you know, the fuck else am I gonna do?
I mean, that's fair, yeah. I also kind of like, my only thing is like streaming. I'm not in Canada, but I'm near Canada. So like,
Yeah.
Obviously, the closer you get to Canada, the more nothing you have to do, and the more old people there are that don't really want to deal with young people. So I don't really have friends here. So VTubing is my main way of interacting with people as well. I mean, apart from the Starbucks.
Yeah. It's not so much for, at least for me, it's not so much that Canada in general has nothing to do. I used to, like at the start of the pandemic, I lived in downtown Toronto, like, you know, heart of the city. That's the kind of place that I would love to be in. But, you know, shit's expensive.
I would assume, yeah, in a big city, for sure. Especially downtown. That's crazy. Ah, man. That's really cool, though. I didn't realize that you were Canadian.
It was a lot of fun, and that's when my Starbucks addiction started, because there was one right around the corner. So I was like, I can do a quick run out, not worry about having to bump into too many people, and then just take my thing home.
Yep. That's usually how it goes. Okay, so can you share some of the highs and lows of your journey being transgender in the VTubing space?
Honestly, for lows, I think there's been like one incident.
No shame in that. No shame in only being like one or none.
Yeah, no, well, it's like I wouldn't call it a full-on hate raid, but like 3 dudes showed up in my chat one night and were like, oh, why are you using a girl avatar when you're clearly a guy because of your voice? And that's one of my sore spots. Because way before I came out, I was in theater and stuff, and I was doing voice training all the time to get my voice lower. So it's been really difficult since, you know, after realizing I was trans, and, you know, wanting to undo that, that's also really hard.
I'd say your voice training is going really well. I can't believe people were hateful towards you. That's so stupid.
It was also like, it was within like my first 2 or 3 months, I think, of VTubing, because I started July 2022.
Oh, wow. We started around the same time then. That's really cool.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, I started, it was June. June was my debut originally, so yeah.
Nice. Yeah, but it was like right when I had started, and, you know, they're coming in, they're, you know, shitting on me because of my voice, and like, yeah, it sucked, and, you know, I, like, insta-banned them, because I'm like, I'm not putting any emotional effort towards this when I can just shut you up. A friend of mine, Claire Fluffle, I'm not sure if you're familiar with her, she does, like, a lot of, like, Kirby speedrun stuff. She did, a project similar to this, actually, I believe last winter. I think it was, like, January or February. But yeah, so what she did was, she did it so this is obviously for video, she did it in a stream format. So it was like over the course of a weekend, it was for, I think it was Trans Day of Visibility, and she was just like, nope, doing a whole like weekend for like 3 days in a row. And she'd have people on and, you know, kind of interview us like this, and like, because like I got a request to go on it, that was kind of like what felt like a high to me, because it was like, I'm not used to being noticed by other people, but someone else had like thrown my name in, and I was like, oh, I get to be included in this thing.
You end up, you know a person who knows a person who knows a person who knows a person, and they're like, hey, you want to do this thing? Yeah, sure. It's kind of how half the people here came to me. They met through a person, through a person, through a person.
Yeah, that was because I found out about you through my friend Hero Girl, who also works with Tessa, and that's how. And she like notified me and another friend of ours, and she's like, "Hey, you guys should do this."
Gotcha. That's really cool, though. I'm glad that you got invited to that kind of thing. I wonder if they have any VODs up of like when it first happened, when they did that. That would be really cool to look back on.
I will try and I'll look. I've been actually meaning to look for that myself, actually.
Okay. Let's see. Oh, okay. I spelled it wrong. I'm so silly. I spelled it with a C.
Yeah, she's always like, it's Claire with a K, because she knows that the regular spelling of it is with a C.
Man, I made that simple mistake. Gosh darn it.
It happens.
That's really cool, though. I'll have to check it out and see if I can find any other stuff that has it. Danganronpa. Oh my god. I'm happy. But go ahead, continue what you were saying. My apologies.
Yeah, it's okay. But yeah, it was like being included in something like that felt like a high for me, because not only was it like, you know, I was being noticed for being a streamer, but it was and a trans woman on top of that, but it was also, you know, I got to meet other people who like I'm still friendly with. Like I still like Claire rated me on stream the other night, and I've met a bunch of other people through her that, you know, I've become really good friends with, and I really appreciate that. And it wasn't so much that it was because of, or that it was a streaming high, but it was something like more related to streaming that kind of brought a lot of good out with it.
Yeah. That's awesome. I'm so glad to hear that. God, it's always like everyone has like their own experiences, right? But for the most part, it seems like everyone's been pretty like mostly positive. I don't think I've heard anybody have like mostly negative and no positives. So
nice.
That's always a good sign, right? It's always a good sign. But I think it's really cool that you're able to participate in that. And I do see that Claire actually did make highlights for each of the individual interviews here. So I'll be having something to watch later.
I'll have to check her YouTube channel. Because she did say that she has them saved somewhere.
Yeah, so she has them here in her highlights on her Twitch.
Oh,
so,
they are in there.
Yeah,
Sorry,
she has them in individual.
That.
No, you're fine. She has them in individual hour segments for each interview. So, yeah.
Okay.
This will be cool. I'll check it out. Thank you. All right, next question. My apologies.
No worries.
Would you say that VTubing has helped you discover more about yourself?
I'd say so. Because in, you know, being able to, you know, sometimes, you know, you go over your experiences. There. Start that again.
You're fine. Go ahead.
I Trump.
Take a moment for water if you need to. It's okay.
I trip over my words a lot.
I do that too. It's okay. It's because I speak really fast and I'm like, oh.
And to think I used to want to be into acting.
I mean, you can still do that. You can still do that. You just gotta get used to it, and, you know, run your lines over and over. You know, kind of enunciate.
Yeah. It was something that I did frequently back then, but it was just it feels like, you know, a lifetime ago.
Yeah, I get that feeling. I used to do voice acting, so I do get it. I do understand.
It actually, that's part of the reason why like I enjoy streaming so much, is because it's, you know, I'm not able, like, part of the issue is, again, I'm not physically able to go and do certain things. Like, I wouldn't be able to do any, like, big dance numbers or stuff like that. But I still get to kind of perform while I'm streaming.
Yeah, exactly. That's so cool. I'm glad that you found that kind of, like, warmth and, like, you know, like, the chance to, like, check out, like, you know, explore more of your own interests within VTubing while still being able to stream and everything. So that's really cool. But yeah,
but
sorry.
But it like that. It kind of leads back into the question of like, has it helped me discover more about myself? Because there were things that I had kind of, you know, lost over the years or had kind of moved on from. But it was the, you know, that kind of performance angle in streaming kind of helped reawaken a lot of that old creativity that I had. And it's that, you know, the willingness to be open has helped me be more open about who I am as a person with people. Because before I started streaming, I was very much like a private person. I wasn't, you know, the kind of person to go and talk about issues or, what's going on in my life and whatever at, a moment's notice. And I wouldn't tell a lot of people about who I was, or, like people would know me, as Lyla, but they don't know that I'm a trans woman specifically. But in getting back into that kind of being open and, from the performances and now the streaming, it's kind of helped me more settle in and, be more open towards people, obviously in situations where it's safe too.
Yeah, of course. No, I get what you mean. That's awesome. I'm glad that it's been like, it's allowed you to be more open about yourself and, kind of just be honest, It's really rough because everyday life doesn't really let you do that, Yeah. And if it does, it's very rare opportunities because everyone just has an opinion about how you present yourself. So
I'm convinced I'm the only trans person in this tiny little village, and I'm always
who knows? Maybe somebody else is like you.
Yeah, possibly. Whenever I'm walking down to the Starbucks or the waterfront, because those are the only two places to go. I'm always worried because, because we're the place where the Hallmark movies are, and we're also kind of near Niagara Falls, so we're like a little touristy kind of place. I'm always worried about the kind of looks I'm gonna get when I go out, because the locals, they don't give a shit. This is like little old people town. But the tourists, you never know.
Yeah, no, I get what you mean. Tourists are a problem. Everywhere, no matter where you're at, they're always a problem. Yep. Mm-hmm. But
and I'm gonna be one this year.
Good for you. Let's go. Nothing wrong with being a tourist sometimes. Hopefully, I mean, yeah. Are you gonna be going to? By the way, out of curiosity, are you going to Offkai this year by chance?
To what? Sorry.
Offkai Expo. And it's a U.S. convention, so maybe not. But
no, I'm actually in the middle of waiting on documents to get back from the government so I can get a new passport.
I got you.
Because I'm hoping to go to Japan in September.
Yo, awesome! Trip. I hope it goes well for you. That's awesome.
Thank you. My Japanese is definitely not up to snuff, but I've been learning as much as I can.
You have plenty of time to continue learning. It's all good.
Yeah. So, but it's, I wonder about the same thing about, going somewhere like that as, am I going to be the tourist who is ruining someone else's day?
Nah, as long as you're not a nuisance, I think you're fine. As long as you're careful about keeping to yourself. Usually in Japan, I think it's just keep to yourself. It's just trying to be a bother to other people and keep an eye out for not getting in people's way and stuff. I think that's for the most part what I've heard is the best way to get about in Japan. But I'm sure there's tons of other videos out there to also help you get yourself around without being a nuisance. I think don't be like the people that go to Japan and throw fish on people's cars and stuff. And I think you're fine.
And don't be Logan Paul.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Don't be Logan Paul. Don't throw me Logan Paul and throw fish on people's cars and throw fish at people. Just don't do that, and you should be fine. I think people will welcome you just fine. So, I doubt you'll be able to be the annoying tourist as long as you're not being an annoying tourist, as in disrespectful, right?
Oh God, no! I'm way too terrified of getting into trouble or upsetting people for that to happen.
Oh yeah, no, understandable. Good. It's if you're not Logan Paul, you should be fine. Don't be an obnoxious streamer in a foreign country that makes it everyone else's problem, and I think you'll be good. But yeah, if I'm still talking to you around that time and you still want to keep in contact, keep me updated on what's going on. Let me know how your Japan trip goes.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd love to.
Yeah, I was supposed to go for language school a couple years ago. So I'm always interested to hear about people's stories, going to Japan and seeing what their experiences were like. It's like living vicariously through you.
I will probably come back with many, many stories.
Good.
Because
Good and bad,
much as I hate
probably,
getting into trouble, as much as I hate getting into trouble, I always find myself in trouble, or I'm right by something happening, and it's okay, that was a close one. Let's
Lady
just go
Luck
home
favors
now.
you clearly. Or maybe Lyla doesn't really favor you in that case. But all right, let me ask you the last question. My apologies.
No worries.
What would you say to somebody who is looking at VTubing as an option to being their truest self in content creation?
I'd say take the time to make sure you're really happy with the appearance of your model and, you know, how you're presenting yourself. Because, you know, you can change things over time, but, you know, if it's something that, you know, you want to start with and you don't want to have to, like, make any changes because, you know, sometimes, you know, you won't have the money to, you know, go to back to the artist and say, hey, can we do something different? Or, you know, if it's like if you're able to get like a live 2D rig, in which case that's even more money. So it's like you want to take the time to make sure you're as prepared as you feel you can be in how you present, and then go for it. As long as you are happy with what you're showing people, 100% do it.
That's some very good advice. Thank you. Is there anything else that you want people to know about your experiences or your journey?
Mine's been a relatively quiet journey. You know, not a lot of big things happening. You know, I'm also a relatively small streamer, so it's, you know, there haven't been any like, whoa, big things coming in, unless, you know, like I get surprised at, you know, someone coming in with a raid of 10 people. So,
oh, that's so wholesome.
And like that's, you know, that's something I'm okay with. You know, it's, you know, I may not have a large audience, but the people who, you know, do come to watch, they stay for me, not necessarily the things that they want me to do, or like they're staying for what I want them to stay for, effectively.
Yeah, exactly. That's awesome.
And it's, you know, it has been a quiet journey, but I think that that's sometimes the more peaceful option is better, as opposed to, you know, because I'm always a little afraid of like going like doing something and going viral, because then there's just a lot of pressure that comes with that. And that's kind of something that I don't know if I could handle, and I know that, you know, that some people might be able to handle the pressure, but maybe not if it's just, you know, out of nowhere you've got to deal with, you know, the whole world looking at you, sort of thing.
Yeah, exactly. It's a scary thought. Everyone wants to go viral, at the same time,
it's like it's kind of what we work towards.
It's like I want to be viral, but can I handle that amount of eyes on me? Not. I mean, I guess kind of like it makes it easier with VTubing, right? Because like,
yeah,
you don't have to worry about people like seeing you on the streets. So
that was the other thing, is like I wanted to stream, but I also, you know, I didn't want to show my face. You know, I'm not super dysphoric about how I look, but it's, you know, I would rather show something that I can consistently look at and feel good about, as opposed to, say, you know, you're having an off day and then you go to stream because you're like, oh, that'll cheer me up. But then
they can always tell your expression. They can always tell your expression.
Yep.
Now you feel like a very smiley model like I do. Even whenever you're angry, you look happy. And that's the beauty of VTubing, right?
Yeah, that's why, like, I think it's like the big boom in popularity for VTubing has been really great for trans people, because it gives us that option to, like, you know, present the version of ourselves that we want to see to everyone else.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Is there anything else you want to add before I end the recording?
No, I think, you know, I believe that's about it.